Relationships aren't about chasing or begging for attention. They're about creating a connection so deep, so genuine, that she naturally cares about you, so much that she can't help but think about you, worry about you, and want the best for you. The secret to making a woman care enough to worry isn't about playing games or manipulation. It's about being someone worth her time, her respect, and her heart. Being unapologetically yourself is the foundation of any meaningful connection. When you truly embrace who you are, not just on the surface but deep within, you send a clear message that you are confident, authentic, and secure in your own skin. This kind of authenticity is rare and incredibly magnetic. It's the kind of energy that draws people in, not because you are trying to impress them or fit into their expectations, but because you are comfortable with exactly who you are. A woman senses when you are genuine, and that realness creates a powerful emotional bond. It's not about perfection or hiding your flaws. In fact, it's the opposite. When you allow your true self to show, including your imperfections and vulnerabilities, you invite her into a space where trust can grow. Trust is the bedrock of caring, and without it, worry or concern about you doesn't develop naturally. Many people believe they have to wear a mask or pretend to be someone else to attract a woman's attention. But this only creates a superficial connection that rarely lasts. When you act like someone you're not, eventually, the facade cracks, and she realizes she doesn't truly know you. This leads to disappointment, confusion, and a loss of interest. However, when you choose to be unapologetically yourself, you set the stage for a connection that is deep and resilient. This means embracing your passions, quirks, values, and beliefs without hesitation or shame. It means living according to your own standards, not the expectations of others. Being authentic also means you don't shy away from your emotions. You're not afraid to express how you feel, whether it's joy, sadness, excitement, or fear. This openness signals emotional maturity and invites a woman to connect with you on a level that goes beyond surface attraction. When she sees you are honest with yourself and others about who you are, she begins to care not just about the version of you she meets in social settings, but about your whole story. This genuine exposure makes her more invested in your well-being because she recognizes the courage it takes to be this real. Living authentically also means that you don't try to control or manipulate the relationship out of insecurity. You don't pretend to be perfect or play games to keep her guessing. Instead, you bring your whole self into the relationship, flaws and all. This can feel vulnerable at times, but it's the most powerful way to build lasting connections. Women, like all people, crave honesty and integrity. When they feel that from you, they feel safe. This safety allows them to let their guard down and care deeply. There is something incredibly attractive about a man who knows who he is and isn't afraid to show it. He has a sense of purpose and direction, and he carries himself with a quiet confidence that doesn't need validation from others. This kind of self-awareness is magnetic because it promises stability and reliability. When a woman senses that you are anchored in yourself, she worries less about losing you because you are not someone who drifts aimlessly or disappears when things get tough. Instead, you are someone who remains consistent and true. Authenticity also means setting clear boundaries and not compromising your values to please others. When you do this, you communicate self-respect, and that self-respect naturally commands respect from others. A woman will notice when you stand firm on what matters to you because it shows strength of character. It also tells her that your relationship with her won't be based on manipulation or control, but on mutual respect and honesty. This creates a healthy dynamic where she can care for you without feeling the need to constantly protect herself from unpredictability or falsehoods. Another crucial aspect of being unapologetically yourself is embracing your uniqueness. Everyone has something that sets them apart, whether it's a talent, a perspective, or a way of living. When you fully own your uniqueness, you become memorable. People don't worry about what they forget. They worry about what they can't forget. And when a woman can't forget you because you are unapologetically genuine, her care deepens naturally. Being real also means being comfortable with your past and present, without shame or regret. You understand that every experience, good or bad, has shaped who you are today. You share this openly, not as a way to seek pity, but to build connection through shared humanity. This openness invites empathy and compassion, which are essential for a woman to care deeply and worry about your well-being. Valuing yourself first is one of the most powerful things you can do, not just in relationships, but in life as a whole. When you truly see your own worth, everything changes. It's not about arrogance or ego, but a deep, unshakable respect for who you are and what you bring to the table. This self-respect forms the foundation for how others perceive you, especially a woman you want to build a meaningful connection with. She will never fully care or worry about you if you don't show that you care about yourself first, because the energy you give off is a direct reflection of your inner belief system. When you undervalue yourself, it shows in your actions, your words, and even in your body language. That lack of confidence makes it hard for anyone to take you seriously or see you as someone worth their emotional investment. To value yourself means you understand your strengths and weaknesses and accept them without apology. You don't allow your self-worth to be dictated by others' opinions or fleeting circumstances. This kind of inner stability is magnetic because it signals to a woman that you are not dependent on her validation or affection to feel whole. Instead, you are someone who has built a strong foundation of self, love, and confidence, which naturally inspires care and concern. When she sees that you are grounded and sure of your value, it creates an environment where she can feel safe investing emotionally. It makes her wonder, what would it mean if I lost someone like this? Valuing yourself also means setting standards, not settling for anything less than you deserve. This applies to how you treat yourself, how you expect to be treated by others, and the kind of relationship you want. When you hold high standards, you communicate that you respect your time, your emotions, and your energy. A woman will notice this, and it will make her think twice before taking you for granted. When you tolerate disrespect or settle for less, it lowers the bar for how she treats you, because she senses that you haven't fully committed to honoring yourself. But when you demonstrate that you expect to be treated with kindness, honesty, and respect, she realizes that losing you would mean losing someone who values himself enough not to accept anything less than the best. It's important to recognize that valuing yourself first also means taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. When you invest time and effort into improving yourself, it shows that you believe you are worthy of that investment. Whether it's through pursuing your passions, maintaining your health, or continuing to grow intellectually and emotionally, these actions reinforce your self-respect. A woman who sees you actively working on yourself will care deeply because it signals that you are committed not only to yourself, but also to the future of the relationship. She will worry about losing a man who is always striving to be better, someone who refuses to become stagnant or complacent. Another aspect of valuing yourself is being able to say no when something doesn't align with your values or needs. This can be difficult, especially if you fear rejection or loneliness, but it's crucial for maintaining your self-worth. When you confidently set boundaries and honor your own needs, you create a sense of respect around you. A woman will notice that you are not a pushover, and that makes you more attractive because it shows strength and integrity. It also creates a dynamic where she can trust that your relationship is built on mutual respect, not codependency or manipulation. Valuing yourself first doesn't mean you become selfish or disconnected from others. It means you recognize that your happiness and well-being are essential to being able to give love and care in return. When you are secure in yourself, You are free to be more generous and present in your relationships. This security makes her care enough to worry because she senses that what you offer is genuine and lasting, not needy or desperate. Finally, valuing yourself also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes and not letting regret define who you are. Everyone has made choices they wish they could change, but true self, Val, you comes from learning, growing, and moving forward without being weighed down by guilt or shame. When a woman sees that you have healed and accepted yourself, it builds trust and admiration. She cares because she knows you are not running from your past, but embracing your full journey, and that makes you someone truly worth holding on to. Showing consistent confidence and independence is one of the most attractive qualities a man can embody. Confidence is not about being loud or overpowering. It's about having a quiet assurance in who you are and what you stand for. This kind of confidence is magnetic because it tells a woman that you are comfortable in your own skin and that you don't rely on external validation to feel worthy. When you walk through life with confidence, you carry a kind of energy that makes people take notice naturally. This energy doesn't come from arrogance, but from a deep-rooted belief in your own value and capabilities. It's about knowing your strengths and accepting your weaknesses without letting them define you. When a woman senses this, it builds an invisible bond where she feels drawn to you, wanting to be part of the life of someone who is so sure of himself. Independence is equally important in creating a dynamic where a woman cares enough to worry. Being independent means you have your own goals, passions, and life outside of the relationship. You are not looking to fill a void or escape loneliness by attaching yourself to someone else. Instead, you bring your whole self into the relationship, a person who is complete on his own, but chooses to share his life with her. This sense of self-sufficiency is incredibly attractive because it signals emotional maturity and stability. It shows that you are capable of handling your own problems, making decisions for yourself, and living a fulfilled life, whether she is there or not. This independence makes a woman value you more because she knows she's with someone who is not dependent on her for happiness, but someone who adds to the joy and richness of her life. Consistency in confidence and independence is what truly sets you apart. It's one thing to be confident occasionally or to act strong in certain situations, but showing up every day with that same energy makes you reliable and trustworthy. A woman needs to feel she can count on you not only when it's easy, but especially when things get tough. This consistency reassures her that your confidence is real, not a mask to hide insecurities. It also shows that your independence is genuine and not just a front. When she experiences this kind of dependable strength, she begins to care deeply because she knows you're someone who won't disappear when challenges arise. She worries not because she doubts you, but because losing someone so consistently strong and independent would leave a huge void. Confidence and independence also create a healthy balance in a relationship. When you are secure in yourself, you don't feel the need to control or manipulate the other person. You respect her space, her individuality, and her growth because you understand that a relationship is about two whole people coming together, not two halves trying to complete each other. This respect for autonomy encourages her to invest more emotionally and care deeply, knowing that she is with someone who values her freedom as much as his own. Another aspect of confidence and independence is the way you handle setbacks or failures. When you face difficulties with grace and resilience, it shows a level of maturity that's very attractive. Instead of crumbling or becoming needy, you rise up and keep moving forward. This attitude reassures her that you're someone who can handle life's ups and downs, and that your relationship will be a source of strength rather than added stress. She worries because she knows losing someone so resilient means losing a pillar of support and stability. It's also important to highlight that confidence allows you to communicate clearly and assertively without aggression. You express your needs and boundaries calmly and respectfully. This kind of communication fosters trust and openness, making her feel safe and valued. Independence reinforces this because you don't rely on her to define your worth or make decisions for you. Instead, you partner with her as an equal, someone who brings his own perspective and strength into the relationship. This mutual respect builds a foundation where care naturally flourishes and concern grows. Confidence and independence give you the freedom to be vulnerable without fear. When you are secure in yourself, you don't see vulnerability as a weakness, but as a bridge to deeper connection. You allow her to see your true self, knowing that you are enough just as you are. This vulnerability invites her to care deeply and worry in a way that comes from love and emotional closeness, rather than insecurity or fear. Communicating with genuine emotion and honesty is one of the most essential ways to build a deep connection that makes a woman care enough to worry. When you communicate authentically, you open the door to real intimacy and understanding, creating a space where emotions flow freely without fear of judgment or rejection. Many people underestimate how much power honest communication holds in relationships because they confuse it with just talking or sharing information. But it goes far beyond that. It's about expressing your true feelings, your fears, your dreams, and your vulnerabilities with courage and clarity. When a woman sees that you are willing to be open and honest with her, it creates trust, and trust is the foundation of any relationship where care and concern can flourish. Genuine emotion in communication means you don't hide behind masks or put on a facade of being strong all the time. It means you allow yourself to feel deeply and share those feelings in a way that is respectful but raw. This doesn't mean you overwhelm her with every passing emotion, but rather that you share your inner world honestly and vulnerably. When she experiences this kind of emotional honesty, it makes her feel valued and understood because she knows you trust her enough to let her in. This trust encourages her to reciprocate, creating a beautiful cycle of openness where both of you can be your true selves. Honesty is the other critical piece. It's about telling the truth even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. It means not hiding things to avoid conflict or protect your ego, but being brave enough to say what needs to be said. When you communicate honestly, you create clarity in the relationship. You avoid misunderstandings, assumptions, and unnecessary drama that often arise when people keep things bottled up or play games. A woman will care deeply about someone who respects her enough to be truthful because it shows integrity and respect for the relationship. She worries because she knows you are someone who values transparency and is not hiding parts of yourself, which builds a stronger emotional bond. Another important element is active listening. Communication isn't just about expressing yourself, but also about truly hearing the other person. When you listen with genuine attention and empathy, you validate her feelings and experiences. This kind of listening makes her feel important and cared for, which naturally deepens her emotional investment. It also teaches you how to respond thoughtfully and sensitively, further strengthening the connection. When she notices that you are not just waiting to speak, but are really present in the conversation, it increases her respect and concern for you because it shows you value her as a person and partner. Being honest and emotionally genuine in communication also means you don't shy away from difficult conversations. Many people avoid addressing problems or uncomfortable topics out of fear or insecurity, but doing so creates distance and mistrust. Facing challenges together openly builds resilience in the relationship and shows a commitment to growth and understanding. When a woman sees that you are willing to work through tough moments with honesty and care, it makes her feel secure and valued. She worries about losing someone so dependable and emotionally mature, knowing that you are someone who won't run away when things get hard. It's essential to communicate not only about problems, but also about your appreciation and affection. Genuine emotional communication includes expressing gratitude, admiration, and love in ways that feel authentic to you. These positive affirmations remind her that she matters and that your feelings are real. When you regularly share what you love about her and how she impacts your life, it nurtures a bond where care and concern grow naturally. This balance of vulnerability and positivity in communication creates a dynamic that keeps the emotional connection strong and alive. Nonverbal communication is also a powerful part of this. Sometimes what you don't say speaks louder than words. Your tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language can either reinforce your honesty and emotion or undermine them. Being mindful of how you convey your feelings through these subtle cues ensures that your message is received as genuine and heartfelt. When a woman senses your sincerity not just in what you say, but in how you say it, it deepens her trust and emotional investment, making her more likely to care deeply and worry about you. Communicating with genuine emotion and honesty means being patient with yourself and the relationship. Building this kind of deep, authentic connection takes time and consistent effort. It requires you to be vulnerable repeatedly, to listen deeply, and to face challenges with courage and openness. When you commit to this level of communication, you create a powerful foundation for a relationship where a woman truly cares enough to worry because she feels connected, safe, and deeply understood. Creating emotional security and trust is one of the most vital aspects in making a woman care enough to worry. Emotional security means that she feels safe to be herself around you without fear of judgment, rejection, or abandonment. It's the comfort that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you will remain steady and supportive. Trust, on the other hand, is the foundation upon which emotional security is built. Without trust, there can be no true closeness or vulnerability, because suspicion and doubt will always create distance. When you actively work on building emotional security and trust, you are sending a powerful message that your relationship is a safe haven, a place where she can relax and be fully authentic. This kind of emotional environment encourages her to care deeply because she knows that her heart is protected and valued, which naturally leads to concern and worry born from love rather than fear. Emotional security begins with consistency in your actions and words. It means that you show up reliably, you keep your promises, and you create predictable patterns of behavior that she can count on. When a woman experiences this consistency, it calms the fears and insecurities that may have been triggered by past experiences or disappointments. It reassures her that you are not someone who will disappear suddenly or behave unpredictably. Instead, you become a steady presence in her life, someone she can lean on emotionally. This consistency builds a deep sense of trust, which forms the emotional bedrock for caring enough to worry. She worries because she knows how much you mean to her, and how much your stability impacts her sense of safety. Transparency and honesty are key ingredients in developing trust. When you openly share your thoughts, feelings, and intentions, you eliminate the space for doubts and suspicions to grow. Transparency is not about oversharing or burdening her with every detail, but rather about being clear and genuine in your communication. This clarity allows her to understand you better and to feel connected on a deeper level. When she sees that you are not hiding parts of yourself or playing games, it makes her feel respected and valued, which strengthens the emotional security between you. She cares enough to worry because she recognizes that the trust you've built is rare and precious, something worth protecting. Another important element in creating emotional security is showing empathy and understanding. When she shares her fears, insecurities, or struggles, responding with empathy rather than judgment helps her feel accepted and supported. This acceptance encourages her to be more open and vulnerable with you, which deepens the emotional intimacy between you. When a woman feels truly seen and heard, it makes her heart more invested in the relationship. She worries because she knows that the emotional connection you share is real and that losing it would leave a significant void. Respecting boundaries is also essential in fostering emotional security. Everyone has different comfort levels when it comes to emotional exposure, and honoring those boundaries shows maturity and care. It means allowing her to open up at her own pace and not pressuring her into sharing before she is ready. This respectful approach builds trust because she feels in control of her emotions and safe in your presence. Over time, this mutual respect deepens the bond and increases her emotional commitment, which leads to a genuine concern and worry for your well-being. Actions often speak louder than words when it comes to emotional security. Small but consistent gestures of care, attentiveness, and support reinforce the trust you're building. These might be as simple as remembering important details about her life, showing up when you say you will, or offering comfort when she's down. These actions create a pattern of dependability that makes her feel secure and valued. When a woman experiences this level of care consistently, her emotional investment grows, and so does her concern for you. She worries because she knows what she stands to lose, and that worry comes from a place of deep love and attachment. Forgiveness and patience are also critical in maintaining emotional security. No one is perfect, and mistakes or misunderstandings will inevitably happen. When you approach these moments with patience, a willingness to forgive, and a commitment to learn and grow, you reinforce the message that your relationship is strong enough to withstand challenges. This attitude reduces fear of rejection and abandonment, further increasing her emotional safety. The more secure she feels, the more her heart opens, and the more she cares and worries about the relationship and about you. Creating emotional security and trust is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship and one of the most powerful ways to make a woman care enough to worry about you. Emotional security means she feels safe in your presence, knowing that you won't judge her, abandon her, or react unpredictably when she shares her true self. This safety allows her to open up fully and be vulnerable, which is the deepest form of connection two people can experience. When a woman senses that the relationship is a secure place, she naturally becomes more invested emotionally because she knows her feelings and well-being matter to you, and that she won't be hurt or dismissed. Trust builds slowly through consistent behavior over time, and when she feels confident that you are dependable, honest, and emotionally available, it forms a protective barrier against fear and doubt that might otherwise hold her back from caring deeply. Emotional security requires more than just words. It demands that your actions align with your promises consistently, reinforcing that you are reliable and worthy of her trust. When she experiences your dependability in everyday moments, like showing up when you say you will or following through on your commitments, it sends a powerful message that you value her and the relationship. This reliability becomes a bedrock for trust and safety, allowing her heart to open and her emotions to deepen. When a woman trusts you in this way, her concern and care grow naturally because she recognizes that the bond between you is something strong and genuine worth protecting. The fear of losing this safe connection can make her worry about you, not from insecurity, but from a place of love and emotional attachment. Transparency is another essential ingredient for building trust and emotional security. When you share your thoughts and feelings honestly and openly, you remove the shadows of doubt and speculation that can breed insecurity. This openness creates clarity in the relationship and shows that you are not hiding anything from her, which fosters a sense of partnership and mutual respect. Honesty requires courage because it means sometimes revealing parts of yourself that are imperfect or vulnerable. But it is this authenticity that deepens intimacy and allows her to feel truly connected to you. When a woman sees that you are willing to be transparent, it invites her to do the same and strengthens the emotional fabric between you. This mutual openness makes her care more deeply and worry about you because she feels intertwined with your inner world. Empathy plays a critical role in cultivating emotional security and trust. When she shares her fears, doubts, or struggles, Responding with genuine empathy rather than judgment lets her know that her feelings are valid and accepted. This kind of emotional validation encourages her to continue sharing and trusting you with her vulnerability. It also shows that you are emotionally mature and capable of holding space for her experiences, which increases her emotional investment in the relationship. The deeper her emotional connection becomes, the more she worries about the relationship's health and about your well-being because she feels the weight and value of what you both share. Respecting boundaries is equally important in creating a secure emotional environment. Everyone has different needs and comfort levels around emotional intimacy, and honoring those boundaries communicates that you respect her autonomy and emotional pace. Pushing too hard or rushing vulnerability can cause her to retreat, but allowing her the space to open up at her own speed builds trust and patience in the relationship. This respect also means you do not dismiss or minimize her feelings, even if they seem small or irrational to you, because for her, they are real and significant. When she experiences this kind of respect consistently, it nurtures emotional safety and deepens her emotional commitment. Small, consistent actions are the language of emotional security. Beyond words, showing care through your behavior. Whether it's remembering important details, offering support when she's down, or simply being presentry forces that you are someone she can count on. These gestures build a pattern of dependability that speaks louder than any promise and nurtures trust over time. The more she feels supported and valued through your consistent actions, the more her heart invests in you, and the more she worries because she knows what she stands to lose if the connection were to weaken. Forgiveness and patience are vital in maintaining emotional security, as no relationship is without mistakes or misunderstandings. How you respond in these moments defines the level of safety she feels. When you approach conflict or disappointment with grace, a willingness to forgive, and a commitment to learn and grow, you reassure her that the relationship is resilient. This assurance allows her to remain vulnerable without fear of rejection or abandonment. The security that comes from knowing you can overcome challenges together strengthens her emotional attachment, prompting her to care deeply and worry because she sees the relationship as precious and lasting. Creating emotional security and trust means cultivating a space where both partners feel safe to be their true selves. This foundation of respect, honesty, empathy, and reliability naturally fosters a love so deep that caring and worrying become expressions of genuine connection rather than insecurity or fear. When you invest in building this kind of emotional sanctuary, you inspire a woman to open her heart fully, care profoundly, and worry because she understands how much you mean to her and how much the relationship means to both of you. At the end of the day, the secret to making a woman care enough to worry isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about becoming a man worthy of that care. Be real, be confident, be respectful, and be the partner who shows up with honesty and love. When you do that, worry won't come from insecurity or fear. It will come from the deep, beautiful place of connection and love she feels for you. Remember, it's not about making her chase you. It's about making her want to stay because what you bring to her life is irreplaceable.